In the UK, 98% of children aged 3 and over go online, and nearly 2/3 of them have social media accounts. There's no doubt that social media is a really useful and powerful tool, but when it comes to children, I, alongside many of my healthcare professional colleagues, are becoming increasingly worried about it. And there's serious reason for concern. Ian Russell lives in Harrow in northwest London. In 2017, his daughter Molly tragically took her own life at the age of just 14 years old.
I'm lucky that I'm the dad of 3 lovely daughters. I still say 3. And Molly was the youngest of those daughters. She was emotionally intelligent. She had a cheeky sense of humour. But most of all, I don't think I've met a more caring person than Molly. She would do anything for anyone.
The coroner's inquest learned that Molly had witnessed thousands of images related to depression, suicide and self-harm in the months leading up to her death, and concluded that unsafe online content had contributed to Molly's death in a more than minimal way.
It was the most extraordinary, deep shock combined with an unbelievable grief, all rolled into one. There was no obvious sign of any mental ill health in Molly's case. But behind this gorgeous, seemingly happy and content 14-year-old, there was this deadly turmoil going on.
When did you realise that social media may have played a part in all of this?
I think in such circumstances, you have a lot of questions. And it really wasn't very long before we looked at her social media accounts. I remember there were the usual celebrities and pop groups that a 14-year-old would follow. And amongst them, there were accounts that just seemed different and odd. Accounts that I could not believe were being allowed on global platforms that are legally accessible by 13-year-olds. They just provided this trail of what I describe as life-sucking content. And even if she'd wanted to escape it, as long as she used those platforms, it would pop up in her feeds.
Ian has been campaigning for social media firms to do more to protect their users, especially children. Media regulator Ofcom recently found that 1/3 of children aged 8 to 15 have seen worrying or upsetting content on the internet. We wanted to see this for ourselves, so just a few weeks ago, we created our own account on one of the most popular social media sites, Instagram. We registered as a 13-year-old, then followed 70 of the most popular profiles. This included some singers, actors, comedians and sports stars, all legitimate verified accounts with thousands of followers. We then monitored the promoted content and direct messages received. The outcome was shocking. Within the first 24 hours, the account was exposed to numerous sexualized images and received multiple follow requests from strangers. But children's charity, the NSPCC, have expressed concern that inappropriate content could be accessed by even younger children. The minimum age for the main social media platforms should be 13. But when we set up accounts on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok, we discovered only a simple self-verification was needed. There's nothing here that would stop a child under the age of 13 making up a date of birth and pretending that they were older than they actually are. In 2021, the children's rights organisation 5 Rights Foundation commissioned a similar study on a much larger scale. We're taking our findings to the organisation's founder, Baroness Beban Kidron, OBE. So we created an account. It's a fake account and we put our age at 13, and it was surprising how quickly the inappropriate and even illicit content started to come.
Sadly, I am shocked but not surprised.
The findings in our experiment mirror those of the profiles set up in the Foundation study.
We were absolutely astounded just how quickly the companies started targeting them with really inappropriate material, inappropriate experiences, and allowing access to adults who wanted inappropriate experiences with children to target them. It was completely irresponsible. But what we find is that as children go on their journey, they're being pushed and shoved and targeted with material that really should not be in any child's hands. It may be of a sexual nature, it may be about various versions of self-harm, it may be very extreme diets that no human being should be on, it might be depressing content. All the algorithm is doing is saying, oh, you looked at that, maybe you'd like to look at this, without taking any judgment over what's inside that package.
Well, what can be done to make these social media platforms more responsible for their products?
The first port of call is to say this must be a regulated industry. We do want the benefits of technology. Children do like being online, but not unless it is subject to the transparency, oversight and regulatory demands that would say, you've got to look after the kids first.
What would you say then to parents and carers of children and young people who want some reassurance or want to know what to do?
You have to observe the age limits. You wouldn't actually send your kid, you know, in a car at the age of 14. You shouldn't send them, you know, onto tech platforms that they're not old enough for. And maybe make a friendship group set of rules, because a lot of parents say, oh, but the others say, but the others say, but the others say, and actually they're being played. But I do put right around that, it isn't the parents' fault. We have to do something at a design level. There's no reason it couldn't be safe right now.
Many feel that huge change is needed to ensure children on social media aren't put at risk.
There has to be a change of corporate culture. And the era of self-regulation has failed, unsurprisingly. It's failed to produce that, which is why government regulation is absolutely vital. Otherwise, nothing will change and our children will continue to be unsafe online.
The internet is for everyone and it's opened up the world in unimaginable ways. But it needs to be safe for everyone as well, especially children and young people who are doing so much of their growing up online. The risks are very real. They're increasing and we need to do something about them now.
Sending so much love to Molly's family. I don't think there's any parent who doesn't worry about the internet, because it's still a new thing. It's still a new thing for this generation of parents to have to deal with. And when you don't understand it, how do you control it?
Absolutely. All uncles, my nephews are exactly that age, and I really worry about them being on social media. So we've spoken to Meta, the parent company of Instagram, about our report. And it told us that it agrees regulation is needed and that it's taken steps to protect teens on the app, such as new teenager accounts are automatically set to private. They're encouraged to take breaks. And there's a tool that allows parents to see what accounts their child follows and set time limits on use.
It also explained that while it has always banned content promoting or encouraging concerning behaviour, such as self-harm, it doesn't want to remove any discussion of it. It says it's been told that that could make users feel isolated and prevent loved ones reaching out to help. Finally, it's also looking at new ways to verify your age when you sign up, to stop just lying, including some software that claims to estimate your age by analysing your face.